Welcome to Classic Social Media Howlers Part 2. So last week, you might have hopefully had time to see last week's vlog, which was sort of part 1 of the classic social media mistakes that people tend to make. And this stems from the fact that there is so much pressure to be on so many platforms in front of so many people at all hours of the day and night, and trying to work out how to do your own thing on social media, do it in a way that sits well with you, connects with your audience, doesn't run you ragged, doesn't feel like you've got to sell your soul to social media, is one heck of a challenge. So I wanted to share with you a series of typical blunders, mistakes, howlers that I see people making on social media, which actually make their life so much harder. So last week I talked about the mistake of trying to be everywhere all the time. I talked about the error of getting yourself dragged off track because you're chasing the brand new trends. And I also talked about not getting yourself obsessed with perfection, because none of us are perfect, let's be honest. I am definitely not. So this week I have 4 more juicy howlers / tips for you. So here they are. The first one is, the first one is being unrealistic about your capacity. So one of the best things that you can do on social media is to be consistent, because consistency in every area of business, consistency implies professionalism, credibility. It implies that you're organised, that you know what you're doing, that you're trustworthy. So consistency is really, really key. But what I see with lots of people on social media is they get all excited. They say, I'm going all in. They post 46 times in 1 week on LinkedIn, and then you don't see them again for a month, because 46 times was completely unrealistic when they've actually got a sensible workload going on as well. So my advice is always to be really honest and realistic with yourself about how much capacity you've got and what is realistic for you to achieve on a consistent basis. If that's once a week, so be it. If that's twice a week, that's great. If it's 3 times a week, brilliant, daily, amazing. But none of those are right or wrong. The only thing that's right is understanding your own capacity and sticking to that instead of getting yourself carried away. So that's number 1. Number 2 is not investing enough time to actually learn about social media. Now, social media, one of the beauties of it actually is that it produces its own training. You know, if you go and spend a bit of time on LinkedIn, you'll see loads of LinkedIn trainers sharing amazing tips. Spend some time on Instagram. There's a tips galore on there. But also go and Google things and go and nosy it on YouTube. There are tons and tons and tons of videos that will share brilliant tips, you know, about hashtags, about how to structure a post, about how to sell without being sleazy, you know, all the different elements of each platform and how to do it effectively. So it's really important that not only do you spend the time to be there and create your content, but you also invest time to actually learn about each platform and learn how to do it well, so that you will actually get repaid for the effort that you put in. So that's kind of howler number 2, is not putting the time in to learn how to do it well. Number 3 is getting obsessed by the numbers. It's so easy to get sucked into the number of likes, the number of views, the number of followers, how many people are engaging, liking, sharing, all that kind of stuff. It's all designed, you know, the whole thing is gamified. It's all designed to draw you in and to get you semi-addicted. And it's so easy to get sucked into being obsessed with how many likes you had and why yesterday's post did better than today's post. And I'm not suggesting that you should ignore all of that at all. But what I am suggesting is that you keep a bit of a slightly distant view on it and don't let the day-to-day statistics become an obsession or the driving force. Yes, look for the trends, and yes, see what's really working, but don't get bogged down in today's numbers compared to yesterday's numbers compared to the day before numbers, because it's all just a distraction. And then my final tip is the mistake that people make is pretending to be somebody that they're not. You know, believing that on LinkedIn you've got to be professional and corporate and that you've got to write grammatically correctly. Believing that if you're on Instagram, you've got to have this perfect glamorous lifestyle and everything must be amazing. And the simple truth is, Just be you, because that's who people connect with. None of us admire the perfection of other people on Instagram, and we relate to normal human people. If you've got a great sense of humour, that should come through on social media. If you haven't got a sense of humour, don't try and invent one, because that won't come across well either. Just relax, chill, be yourself, and don't bother with airs and graces or trying to be anything that you're not. It's all good. So those are this week's 4 howlers and what to avoid on LinkedIn. So don't be unrealistic about your capacity. Don't avoid investing the time to actually learn about how to do social media better. Don't get obsessed by the numbers, and don't bother pretending to be somebody you're not. Just be you, relax, enjoy it, and the more that you relax and enjoy it, the better that your results will be. So hopefully there's something in there that you found useful and relevant to you and your business. Please do feel free to like, share, comment, because I might get obsessed by the numbers, and obviously I would love you to share this with anybody else who you think could benefit. Thank you, folks.